All right, nasty.
I was hiding from you, buddy.
I thought you were falling asleep there.
Come on.
Or waking up.
Come on.
A little
Boys.
power nap.
What's up, Rick Aurelia?
Looking fresh.
You too, man. Nice little Wednesday afternoon, or is it Tuesday afternoon?
No, it's Wednesday.
I know, I'm kidding. Wednesday afternoon, a little live show. Talk about a few things. Been a busy week, buddy.
It has been.
How did the drum circle go the other night? I missed it.
Pretty strong. We're missing you.
Wow.
Showed up the one.
I mean, everybody knows the rhythm I do possess, and I can bring it. We know that.
I've seen it.
Yeah, Elvis had a middle school game, so I was
priorities. I get it.
Yeah, it seems like that takes a lot of time up of this hockey, this game of hockey. Shit. Anyway, sorry. Hey, last week, what a cool experience. Getting to go to Fox, 29 good day in the morning with our good buddy Mike Jarek and Alex Holly. That was a blast, man. I'll tell you what, they've got an outfit running there where, I mean, their people are in and out. I was pretty impressed watching that.
Yeah, it was like a wild machine. They bring the people in, they get them all primed up, get the mics on, backstage, couple picks, couple snaps, and then on stage and see you later.
Right away. Let's go.
It's like, get the hell out.
We got to see Sue Serio doing a little bit of the weather. I didn't get to meet Bus Stop Buddy, though. That pissed me off. I wanted to see Bus Stop Buddy. You probably don't even know who that is, but everyone that watches the show knows Bus Stop Buddy.
Oh, yeah. I know who he is. I don't watch the show, though.
Yeah, I know.
Can't say I do.
That's midday for you, 7 a.m.
Yeah, exactly.
You're having lunch around then.
Exactly. Almost getting ready for my afternoon nap.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Mike wasn't afraid to chuck him with you.
I was just going to say, I'm pretty sure he jumped me. I got to review the tape there, but he got to the upper, the quick jump, I thought.
He did. Baller sent it to Toronto, and they did come back, and he did get an instigator on that one.
He did.
Yeah, he grabbed you quick. He was throwing quick rights.
I didn't see that coming. It was like a flashback of like Happy Gilmore. I'm like, is it like Bob Barker? Is like he's gonna start get pounded by this guy? I was like, and then he kept going. So I was like, all right, I gotta get like a stiff grab here, and then I gotta release the left. You know how that goes.
Alex told me he's got a huge bruise from where you actually grabbed on there afterwards, once you realized he was chucking.
Come on.
No, but I was hoping Alex was going to grab me and beat me up. Mike almost came across her lap there. No, I'm kidding.
I don't think she knew what was going on. She's like,
no, she's kind of like, oh.
Should I step in?
Well, I was going to say, though, she's been around Mike for years. Yeah, so she probably wasn't that shocked. But what a good time that was. That was awesome. Got a lot of messages and people tuned in. So it was a lot of fun.
It was. Yeah, and you even got to expose their nest.
I know.
I didn't see that one coming.
I was talking to Matty Cord afterwards, and he was like, I even got a shout out. I was like, well, you're the first guy that did that to me on the radio live. But yeah, that's a long story. But that was kind of funny that they brought that up.
Oh yeah.
But it is. Hey. There's a lot of really cool nicknames in hockey, and I don't know if Nasty's a cool one, but I guess I earned it.
You did.
Somehow.
Well earned.
Well, anyway, Riggs, that was a fun morning the other day. It was a lot of fun going to Lehigh as well and seeing the boys and talking about Tony Vos and the MVP award that they named after Tony, obviously. That was really cool. Good to see Lappy and all the boys, Snowy and Gator, just everyone there. Riles was there. I hope I'm not missing anyone, but and Bob, Big Bob, with that radio voice. Just love hearing him talk, man. Makes me laugh.
He permanently talks in radio voice.
He does.
He wakes up in the morning and speaks in radio voice. Everything.
He's got the voice, man. He does. I was telling Elvis years ago when they went into they went like a 3 overtime game. I think Alex Lyon was with the team at the time. So it's been a few years, but it was back. I remember having the game on my phone and I kept dozing off, but I kept setting my alarm for every 10 minutes so I could see if they won. It was a big playoff game. I think they were in Charlotte, and Bob actually, I think he was getting tired, but he was calling the game great. And it was funny because he kind of asked the question and then answered it. Oh, I just thought it was so funny. It was, I can't remember what it was, but it was like, wow, that was, that had to be a tough save for him to make. It was a tough save for him to make, going across the crease. And I'm like, he just asked himself a question and answered. It was pretty cool. But
it's a gift, man.
Yeah, it is a gift. It is a gift.
Yeah.
He's awesome. And he was a lot of help getting the guys in there and getting to meet Jet and talk to Big Sawyer. Bolton there, man. What a great kid. Just great attitude. Both of them. Yeah. And Lappy. So anyway, enjoyed that as well, buddy.
Yeah, it was cool. And just expanding on that, just to be clear for our listeners out there, Lappy invited us to speak on behalf of Tony Vos and the award, the new award they created for the Phantoms MVP, right? And they ended up naming it Tony Vos Award. So we just spoke a little bit. Shared a few stories around Tony, and that was it. And obviously did the pod after, but I just wanted to make sure they understood what we were talking about there.
Right.
Why we're there. Well, we were there for a few reasons, but that was one of them.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
let's get into it, Nast.
Let's get into it. There's quite a bit going on, but obviously the playoffs started. Unfortunately, Flyboys aren't in it this year. Maybe, hopefully, in a couple years here, what we're shooting for. But just wanted to quickly run over. They had the clean out your locker day and all that stuff, but the Flyers ended up finishing at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. With 33 wins, 39 losses, and 10 in OT for 76 points. Ended up in the fourth spot, I guess, is the worst they could do in the draft, which is okay. Obviously, the number one pick, I think we kind of talked about that on Fox, but the number one pick is a D-man. He's probably 99.9% sure he is the number one pick, but there are a couple centermen available, and the Flyers do need that. So we'll see where the lottery ball lands for the Flyboys. Next year's one you really won't. Obviously, everyone's talking about. But after listening to Clean Out Day to a few of the guys speaking, and then especially Danny Riles, a lot of the questions had to do with what are you going to do about a coach. Obviously, he said we haven't gotten there yet. We haven't even started that discussion, which they probably have, but
I would think they have.
They probably have. He basically said we're going to put a short list together and then go from there. And I don't think. Well, I know because someone actually asked, and I apologize for which reporter it was. I couldn't tell who asked, but they said, "Are you going to go to an outside source again, like they did, like Chuck Fletcher did?" Which I've just never heard of in my life, but I thought that was the craziest thing ever. But anyway, Danny's going to do it as a GM like you're supposed to, and him and Jonesy. I'm sure Mr. Hilferty will have a say in that as well. But
what do you mean you're not a fan of hiring someone in Europe to do some internal scouting?
No, I'm not. If you don't know what's going on in your building, you should be a GM, and that was obviously the case. It blows my mind. I kind of almost forgot about it. I guess you kind of want to forget that the guy you hired to be your general manager went outside, or they made you go outside because they didn't trust your decision making, which isn't a good thing. But
was that just a tap into like a deep archive of analytics? What is that? What is that for? Because it's like you obviously ask around and talk to people in the game. Pretty quickly, like who's like your top 3 or top 5. It's not that complicated.
No,
even as like the moment you fired Torts, even before that, you'd have to have some sort of inkling of like some bit of the direction we're potentially going, right? It's a 3 to 5 list. You said a short list.
Yeah.
But I understand. This is pro sports, and they do use every resource possible to make some of these decisions. And with AI and the amount of data out there, I'm sure they're leaning into it. But nothing ever more superior than the eye test, the old character test, right? Even on the ice, it's like all the analytics kind of just point back to what you see and what you feel. So there's no real secrets, but I think when you're breaking it down, you could at least sit down and look at your top 3 candidates and say, hey, well, we're picking him, for A, B, and C reasons, and because of the data, I would think. But
yeah,
anyway,
for sure. Yeah.
Moving on.
So we'll see. We'll see. You know, he did say Coach Shaw is in their thoughts right now. Obviously, could you close that? No, don't worry about it. Just close the door. Sorry. Don't worry about it. Sorry guys. LV.
Spring break.
Yeah, spring break. So anyway, where was I there? Oh yeah, he said Shaw is obviously a guy that they're obviously keeping him in consideration because of the way the guys played under him. I mean, obviously, I think anyone that you put behind there is going to be more of a relaxed situation. And I'm not saying it's not supposed to be hard. You have to be hard on guys. We both know that wasn't the issue. And I think most people have figured it out now that it wasn't the fact that he's hard on them while they're playing the game on the ice and things like that. It probably went a little deeper. So anyway, in saying that, that should be something they're obviously really looking at. And they also have to worry about this draft that's coming up. They kind of talked about that as well. I was going to bring up the fact that at the clean out day, there was a couple comments that kind of stood out to me, and one was TK talking about Michkov, and obviously he ended up leading the league as far as rookies go in goals, and I think he surpassed, what did we say, around 50 to 60 points at the beginning of the year? I think he ended up right around there, Riggs, and I think you said that. You said 25. I said at least 50.
Yeah.
Nah.
I said 25 goals. What did he end up with 26?
Yeah, he ended up with 26. But the thing is, they're talking to TK about that, and, he said that Matvey wants to be the leading scorer in the league. Like you can tell he loves the game. He loves to score. I think he does a little more than just score, though. Obviously, we've seen, even talking to Jet last week, he's like, it's amazing. You think of him as a scorer, but the guy can pass the puck too. The way he sees the game is kind of, I'm not putting him up there with the greats, but you can tell offensively he's almost a half step ahead, or if not a step ahead. He seems to know where the puck's going to be or where a player's going to be if he's putting a puck into an area, right? So it's fun to watch, and TK actually mentioned that, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, to have a one of your main leaders have a positive comment like that about your young, say, superstar, it's got to be a testament to how he's performed this year, and I see it too. I mean, I can't speak to it like TK could, but just watching him, the hunger, the excitement, the urgency, the way he finds holes and the way he attacks the net. Not that I see a Kucherov, but it's just like I could see what he's working towards. He's looking at this guy. This guy's just gobbling up points daily, and I mean, to me, it's not that far off. A couple years away if he keeps producing like that. I mean, he's going to be a super elite player in the league.
I agree. And it was fun watching him all year, but there were some of those times where I know we talked about just like when he got scratched, and like, look, I'm not a head coach, but I just felt like, I just remember, it just still sticks out in my head, the games in Florida, like going up against Tampa, beat a dead horse here, but I just thought those are games you want him in, playing against the Panthers, playing against Tampa. Yeah, you can go upstairs and watch, but we saw what he was doing every time they showed him on TV. He was on his phone, like every other teenager or 20-year-old. But yeah, he is fun. He's going to get better. I think he just loves the game, and even talking to our buddy Slava, like, he just loves hockey, and it's fun to see, man. It was huge getting him over here for this season and getting that first season under his belt here, and I think he's only going to get better next year. There was another thing, Riggs. Another guy that spoke out a little bit was Cam York, and basically, he basically just say, you can say whatever you want about him and Torch. Obviously there was this kind of FU going back and forth or whatever, but he said, at the end of the day, he didn't do his part and he didn't do enough on his end, and he, taking accountability the way his season went and the way he played. He knows he can be better. And I think we all know that, but there was obviously some frustration there, as there was with a lot of guys. So can't make excuses. You still got to show up to play. You got to have pride. So I just thought it looked good on him to say that.
Yeah, that was the right move for sure. You have to own your piece in it, right? As soon as you start pointing fingers and making it seem like it's someone else and you have no ownership in it, I mean, to me, you lose all credibility. But there's
Right.
obviously there's two people involved. One wasn't playing up the par. The other one, say, crossed the line on how he was, teaching or potentially threatening. I don't know. But you have to own it, right? Because you're in the business of performance, and there's always a higher level, right? I mean,
right.
and all the players are trying to find that next level and level up and level up. So, props to him. He needed to say that. I think it would have looked really, really bad if he had started pointing fingers and didn't own it. So,
right, yeah.
For him.
And knowing Cam, I didn't think that he would do that. I just like the fact that he addressed it. He's not pointing the blame.
100%.
You're never going to find 24 guys in a room that loves their coach. I mean, this was a little different, but at the same time, you got to be man enough to say, "Hey, I got to be better on my end as well," and that's exactly what he said. So, I was happy with that. Some coaches bit the dust, man.
Yeah,
little Queen, another one bites the dust. Three coaches in the last few days, and one our buddy Peter Laviolette. It's so crazy. Like, I know they underachieved. You have to say, I guess they underachieved. But the funny thing is, we heard from some pretty good sources and two to three different people. He wasn't the issue in the locker room, and the boys had no problems with him at all. And that's what we've heard. Obviously I'm not going to say names, but and that maybe, I hate saying it, but Drury, the GM, some guys had some issues there, but we're not there. We don't, we're not working there. We don't see that enough, but hated to see Lavi after 2 years get fired. I really like him, and I know you really like Lavi as well. And he's a fiery coach. He'll get a job. Plus he's going to get paid the rest of his money as well. But did that one shock you at all, or did you kind of see with the year they had?
Yeah, I mean, I actually thought he was gonna get fired during the season. Tell you the honest truth, the way it was going there, maybe around Christmas or maybe right after Christmas. The thing with Lavi, and I really like Lavi. It seems like at least his last 3 stops have been short. Say shorter stops where I think he gets the guys going, shows a little flash. He maybe energizes them, and then it seems like at least in the last 3 stops, they just kind of at some point dip. And I don't know. Again, I don't know the variables, what's going on there in Rangerland, if there's beef with GM. It's interesting to hear like players maybe not competing because they have issues with their GM, right? I mean, it's like that, you don't hear that often, but but whatever the case was, again, business of performance, coach must go. It just seems like that's the easy one. And you said it. I think Lavi gets another job. I mean, he is a good coach. I'd like to see him get over that like cusp of, just like kind of getting there and then then dying off. So we'll see how it plays out. I mean,
they went paychecks. Yeah, you're right. And they did one last thing just about Lavi is just they ended up moving a lot of guys this year, right?
Yeah, they did.
The season. So it's just not to make an excuse for him, but like from day one to game 1 to game 82, there was quite a few moves made there. But anyway, sorry to see Lavi go. Sorry to see anybody lose their job. It sucks. But he will get a job if he wants one. If he wants one, maybe
you'll see him on TNT next to Biz or something. Who knows?
You might. Seattle Kraken. Last year, I was a little. First of all, I've been a little skeptical. And I hate saying this because I don't mean any disrespect, but to Ron Francis, like I remember when they had that draft, I didn't think they did a great job with that. I mean, and a lot of people commented that. I think they left some players on the table there with some, with their picks. They definitely didn't go after like Las Vegas did. I understand maybe it wasn't as good of a pool of players that were, not protected. But I didn't think he did a great job there anyway. But they got rid of Hack, and they bring in Dan Bylsma. I understand he was the coach, in I believe it's Coachella Valley. Is that what they're called? The Kraken's team. But he did. They ended up 5 points less than what they had the year before under Dave Hackstall. I just thought that was a little soon to fire Hack after he did get them into the playoffs. They lost in Game 7, I think, in round 2, 2 years ago under Hack. And I've always been I like Hack a lot, but
me too.
This firing did not shock me in the least. Not one bit. Not one bit. But now Francis moves up to president now. So I don't know. I just haven't been a huge fan of what Seattle's done, to be honest. But I was when I watched the practice with you in Seattle.
Yeah, they were crispy.
Hack had them buzzing. But either way, Dan Bos was fired 1 year.
That's crazy. How many years did he sign for? Was it 3?
I would say 3. I would say 3.
You wouldn't sign for less, would you?
No, probably not.
Not as a coach.
But the one that really shocked me, Riggs, is in Anaheim and Greg Cronin. Well, I mean, God, it's his second year. He improved the team by 21 points, man. They finished with 80 points. They had 59 the year before. 8 more wins. Like, I don't know. I just they're a young team and they're kind of in a rebuild. And I think Pat Verbeek's done an unbelievable job bringing some guys in, players in, and I'm sure it'll continue. But I don't know. It just kind of surprised me unless there's just things we don't know. It's not like we're watching Anaheim that much. Unfortunately, right. I do watch them, but I don't know the ins and outs of what's going on there. Maybe, he's kind of known as a hard ass. But I mean, geez, they improved by 21 points. That's a pretty big jump.
Yeah. I mean, I think if it was strictly on metrics, it probably wouldn't have happened. Like those metrics,
right?
But there has to have been something internally, or I don't want to say like an actual incident, but maybe it's just the vibe. Maybe he's just like rubbing the wrong people the wrong way. I don't know. You know how that goes. There's always going to be friction on some level, right? Because I mean, there's very few coaches. I mean, Chief might be one of the few that I can even ever think of. I mean, maybe even Johnny, but like, that just like has this way of operating where there really isn't any friction because the way he carries himself and the way he communicates, maybe, you know what I mean? Right. He doesn't like, because there's never any flex. You know what I mean? Like he never has to, whether it's the players or to brass, the executive, people, like he's never like having to pretend that he's better than he is or that he knows more than he knows. Like you see a lot of these guys throughout the hockey space, sports space, a lot of ego, right? I think that's what generally rubs people the wrong way is when that pokes its head out, whether it's to the players or to management or whatever else. So who knows? I mean, I don't know, but I mean, I have heard some stuff about him in the past around, again, maybe crossing that line of being hard, where it's, is borderline like a-hole-ish, but who knows? What the hell do I know? I mean, but it's just the nature of the beast. Again, it's just when you underperform, and maybe they just had higher expectations going into the season, but it's a very short rope.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, the reason I say that, again, you're right. There could be things obviously we don't know. Probably can find out, but I just thought, man, it's a pretty big improvement. 21 points is a pretty big improvement on a season, in my opinion. But anyway, moving on, Lou Lamoriello. Sweet Lou is not going to be back with the Islanders. He's 82 years old, Riggs.
Another gig?
Dude. Go to Florida.
I know. What's he doing?
Just relax.
The island, man. Put your feet up.
God, I'd be interested to see if his son ends up taking over there, Chris. I hate saying this, but I mean, I think Lou should have gone out a little bit sooner. But I think they made the playoffs last year, right? Like they did get into the playoffs, but Patty Waugh looked like he was spent near the end of the year. I don't know if I sent you that picture. His hair was just, he looked disheveled, like he spent the night outside of the arena and didn't go home.
Yeah.
But
he definitely aged like 10, 15 years.
Oh my God. He looks like he's 70. He's probably like, screw you. You try to come coach in NHL, which I hear you. But you know what? Congrats to Lou Lamoriello. What a career. Big with USA Hockey as well. I know kind of a tough guy to work for. You just have to learn his rules and his system. I wonder if they'll be able to grow some facial hair.
Grow some facial hair, right?
Guys are probably like,
growing up a woolly mammoth. Yeah.
I don't have to shave this morning. Like maybe I just don't want to shave for a day or two. But anyway, if a guy can get Jaromir Jagr to shave every day, a legend like that, he really liked Lou. He liked Lou a lot. So, congratulations to Lou Lamoriello, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Great,
I was always,
man.
Yeah, for sure. I was always hoping that like someone would just like say "F you" and just grow the beard, just grow it. Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Like scratch the $5-6 million guy because he's grow a little facial hair? Like,
not a chance.
Not a chance. I guess it looks poor on the on the team front. But like, imagine like everyone's just shaved tight and you just got this woolly man just flexing. Like you just holding a stance. I'm not playing until you let me. The beard.
Yeah. I think Lou would let him sit. He'll trade you. Let you Bridgeport running through that main street I used to sprint down. I was scared to death.
Here's one for you, Nats. What if it was for religious reasons? What if someone had a religious reason?
He would never have drafted him or traded for him.
Probably right. You're probably right. Yeah.
Probably. Right. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't think. At least he let him do it in the playoffs, though.
Yeah.
Which that's to me. And to be honest with you, you know how I feel about the beards. I'm not a huge beard guy.
What do you mean, Nats?
Well, I mean, it's a little much.
Yeah, I think so.
I like that when yours is trimmed, like sculpted, like, but when it gets long, man, maybe I'm just jelly. I'm just jelly. I can't do it.
Yeah, maybe next lifetime.
Yeah. I'll probably be getting there soon. The way my life's going. Hey, couple comments, couple things went on also as well. I want to get your take on. Actually, you know what? I'm going to start with Dylan Larkin in Detroit. Baller, throw that up there for everyone to see.
Especially in March, it was hard, that we didn't do anything. And then I felt the group kind of, we didn't gain any momentum from the trade deadline. And guys were kind of down about it. So, it'd be nice to add something and bring a little bit of a spark on the ice and maybe a morale boost as well.
Thoughts?
Well, he was being very selective of his words. You could tell he was like, should I say it? How should I say it? Where am I going with this? I understand his frustrations as a leader. You want to win and you'd love to see a piece added, going down the stretch.
Especially if you have a chance. I mean, and they were there. Yeah. They were there for a bit.
Yeah, exactly. So I can see, I could see his frustration. I don't know how that affects the relationship with Stevie Y or if, he said it in an okay way, right. Like he wasn't like guns a-blazing, slinging mud over there. But, I don't know what type of deals Stevie Y was working and what he was looking at. But maybe they just didn't work out. Maybe the price wasn't right and it didn't make sense. I'd like to think that if it was going to make sense, they would have done something. But I have a hard time believing it's just like, we're just not going to do anything this year and we're just going to let the guys kind of rot here. But, as a competitive guy, all these guys they all want to win, and you're just looking for a little extra juice, especially that time of year. I can see the frustration.
I actually don't. Especially the way he handled it, I think it's good that he said that because that's how he feels, and he's the captain of that team. And he could have been a dick and really, like you said, slunks. But I'm sure there's a huge amount of respect for Stevie Y. I mean, from everyone, and there should be. I've met him a few times. He's just a great human. But at the end of the day, I do. if you're right there, man, like I wouldn't say it, does Detroit, are they claiming they're in a rebuild? I mean, I'm not really sure about that, but because I remember last year, they almost made it last year as well. They came right down to the end of the season. It would be cool to throw maybe try to add something, but then again, like you said, maybe he did try and just nothing really worked. So, but I don't think there's anything wrong with Dylan Larkin speaking up. He's a captain. He said it in a very respectful way. Yep. And he probably is right. It probably did affect the room a little bit. Like, damn, like, if we had this one extra little thing, maybe they did get Mrazek, which really confused me. I love Mrazek, but Alex Lyon and Taubes, as far as I know, they weren't really the reason they weren't winning, unless there's some games I missed. But I just thought that was a little confusing getting him, but they did it. Yep. Anyway, there was one other thing I wanted to bring up, and Baller, if you could throw up Vancouver, the comments about Quinn Hughes.
The one thing that we will be sure of, that we will have enough cap space to offer him the kind of contract that he deserves. That's the one thing we can prepare for. And it may not boil down to money with him. He said before he wants to play with his brothers. And that would be partly out of our control, in our control, if we brought his brothers here. So there's many moving parts here. Agree 100%. This franchise cannot afford to lose a guy like Quinn Hughes. And we will do everything we can to keep him here, but at the end of the day, it'll be his decision. Well, we got to be careful with tampering here, so we'll just leave it at that. I probably crossed the line, anyways.
That was Jim Rutherford, obviously speaking, and crossing the line because someone could say he's tampering, just for the simple fact that he just said, well, we would have to bring them here. You can't. That's why he said, I think I crossed the line. Yeah, but understatement of the year. You can't afford to lose Quinn Hughes. Like you just can't. But at the end of the day, what do you do? His deal's up 2 years. Like, I don't know.
What prompted that?
I don't really know. I don't know what that came from, but I do know that Quinn Hughes spoke highly of Rick Tocchet and definitely wants him to re-sign there as coach. Wouldn't be the worst thing if Rick Tocchet somehow came here. Just throwing it out there because I love talk. But anyway, I'm not really sure where that came from, but I thought it was interesting that he just threw it out like that. I mean, obviously he was asked. He must.
Yeah, he was asked. Obviously, yeah. I just curious the context of the question because, 2 years away, and I understand as a general manager you have to be looking, into the future and what you're working with, and the fact that he's voiced playing with his brothers, could be concerning as a general manager because you've seen it before how this plays out. I mean, obviously a guy you'd want to keep in Vancouver, but if there's other forces that are, dragging him somewhere else at some point, who knows? I don't know how easy that would be to convince him to stay there if he wants, or his heart's somewhere else and wanting to play with his brothers. But I guess you'll have to cross that bridge when he gets to it. But I can see how 2 years is not that far off. Where, the fact that the seeds have already been planted, meaning that the conversation's already been had that he wants to be playing with his brothers at some point. I don't see Jersey letting go of those guys.
No, I don't either. I don't either. That'll be interesting. I guess we'll have probably wait for 2 years. I wouldn't trade the kid right now. I mean, obviously, unless just something blows your doors off. But anyway, just an interesting little take there. All right, Riggs. Playoffs have started. What? Go ahead. Sorry.
I just wanted to get your thoughts on Talk.
Oh, well, yeah. So I would love to see him come here because I think obviously players really like him. Obviously, he reminds me of Chief, right? Like they're like the same guy. They want you to play hard. They expect you to play hard. They'll get on you when they have to, but they're not those guys like, they're not idiots. They're not
micromanagers,
like you said. Yeah, exactly. So
basically, if you don't play up to the standards, it's just like there's no flex, there's no extra energy. It's just like you're just not playing. We'll call you in,
right?
And then I'm not going to get mad at you. You know what I mean? It's like I'm going to tell you why you're not playing, but this is the facts, and this is how it is. There's none of this extra minutia mind games played, where it's like this and that, and we got to threaten and this and that, and we got extra flex and all this other stuff. It's none of that. It's like black and white. It's black and white. You're not good enough, you're out. And then we'll get you back in when you're ready, when you're going again. But I guess my question was more around the situation in Vancouver, like knowing what we know with this option that they're not gonna utilize, and that they've offered him a new contract. So basically putting the ball into talks court.
Yes.
How do you see this playing out? I mean, if they really, really, really wanted him, they would have exercised the option.
Yes. That's my feeling on it. And I think it maybe out of respect too, they're giving Talk that decision because they probably know there's some teams that would, and I'm not saying Philly's one, but I'm sure Danny B would be talking to Talk right away if he's available. And I think if you do that, you also have Adam Foote coming in with him. That's one of his guys. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens with Talk. And also quickly, like they have some guys that are just up in the air. Pedersen, you don't know what's going to happen there. Thatcher, Demko. Who else am I missing? Even Besser as well. Like it's kind of a shit show there right now.
Yeah.
And now you got Quinn Hughes. You got to worry about losing him in 2 years. I don't know. Is it, at least coming here, what's going on. I think Talk, if I didn't say it a second ago, what I was going to say is he could still teach the game, right? He knows how to teach and lead you, in the next year, maybe two of this rebuild, but also he's able to take over once the rebuild is, you're past the 1 to 2 year mark. I think he's obviously has the respect of his players. So I don't think you could go wrong that way. That way you don't maybe have an interim or in between guy. But then again, like we've brought up these other names, like I think Lappy's got to be discussed. I saw some people say, well, they've been terrible down there. Well, in the American League, it's a little different, right? Because you're losing guys, you get guys back. It's a little different than it is at the National Hockey League level. Like for say like Lappy, maybe their record hasn't been the greatest. That does not mean you're not a good coach at the American League level, just because the team's not won the cup every year. But we'll see what happens, man. It's interesting, and the ball is in Talk's hands. And I played hoops with him.
You did?
Oh yeah, I did.
The flying elbows.
No, he was good. Heck, he's like looking at me, going, "Look at these two idiots," and I'm like, "Well, break them up, man. I can't." They were in each other's face, but anyway. We'll see what happens, but Riggs, the playoffs have started.
Oh yeah,
and it's
underway.
My favorite time of the year, man.
Starting to get heated now.
Some shit's starting to get going here. I just want to quickly run through these. Carolina, Jersey, 2-0. Carolina's up 2-rip. I give Jersey credit because they've got some injury. They have some serious injuries. Obviously, they're missing Jack Hughes, but then they lost Brendan Dillon, and then Luke Hughes as well is out now. Carolina's just a tough team to play against. You've said it before. They're just so fast. They get the puck. Their D gets back, and the damn thing's out before you even can blink. And you got a guy playing there. You got guys that just have played together now, and just how Roddy has them playing just a fast game. I don't know how else to explain it.
They're quick.
They're just a fast team. Britt Burns isn't fast, but he gets there and the puck's off his stick. So
that's it. I mean, he just gets the puck off the wall on the blue line, and it's just like the decision is quick, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Everything they do is quick. The transition, everything. it's not always about the speed of the player itself, but even that to me on the offensive side, it does seem quick too. But they just have a clean, crisp way of executing, and they make it look easy at times.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say as well, like, we talked about Scotty Laughton going to Toronto, and some people are like, oh, I love Laughton. Some people are like, oh, he doesn't do anything. Jordan Martinhook is a perfect example of a guy like Scotty Laughton. Like, this guy's got a goal and 2 assists in 2 games. He's your 4th line guy basically, but those are the guys that you talk about in your locker room that are huge, and then come up with big plays and big goals. And we saw Laughton in game 1, not to get ahead of myself here, but make a really nice play on one of the first goal they scored in the series the other night. But anyway, just wanted to give Martinhook a quick shout out because he's so effective all year. He does all the little things, and those guys are so important. And I think fans sometimes just don't see that side of it, right? How important they are, killing penalties, blocking shots, man. Willing to get your bag run over to win a game, and that's that guy, Jordan Martinhook.
Right.
Doesn't hurt. Fred Anderson's got 2 goals against in 2 games. I know it's tough on Jersey, man. They're just I see this series being over quick. In 4 games. I don't know how Jersey's going to be able to pick up a win, but you got to give them credit. They've played hard.
Yeah, agreed.
Definitely. Jumping to TO. Last night's game was Toronto got out of there with a win.
They were, I thought they got lucky on that one.
Ottawa took the play to him. Stoley was unbelievable. Our buddy Stolars was unbelievable. But you made a great point we were talking about earlier. Max Domi coming in across the blue line, and guys going to reaching for the puck instead of playing the body. You play the body there, you don't score a goal.
Yeah.
You're fishing.
I don't know who the first guy was.
Batherson?
Yeah, that was the second one. He was the one for sure. Could have at least clipped him. Like, you don't have to kill the guy, but if you just get a fraction of his body, he spins around or he's knocked off, balance, whatever, but nothing. I'm not sure who the first guy was. He was in a little bit more of an awkward situation there. You funneled him to the middle there, but to me, it's like playoff hockey. Like, that's like there's no other way to defend.
You have to hit him. You have to hit him.
It's like stick on the puck and you just lean into him in some way, shape, or form. But clearly, when you don't, that's what happens. And then if you actually look earlier in the clip, the Ottawa went down. I think it was like a 3-on-2, maybe a 3-on-3 type of look, and just like a backhand. Not that it was a no looker to the third man, but like right on Toronto's tape, move the puck up. It was just like, oh man, it wasn't like it was it was an error made because you were so fatigued. It was just I don't know, and I think that might have been Matherson too on that actually. But nonetheless, just because. To me, up until that point, Ottawa should have won the game. I mean, especially early in the game. I think they're up like 15 shots to 8 or something, almost halfway through the second. Toronto did get a couple pretty good chances early. I mean, Marner hits the post there.
Yeah, true.
4 minutes into the game, but whatever.
He's a good player, man. Yeah, holy cow, is he crafty.
Good. But it's the way it goes, It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for Ottawa to get back in this one. I didn't see it being 2-0. But
I thought last night, I mean, they were really putting the pressure on, and I'm like, they're gonna get one here. And they end up tying, and I'm like, even after that, they still kind of were pressing, obviously, but they end up losing an OT. I don't think Ottawa is done. I definitely don't think this one's a four banger.
I don't think so either.
They're gonna go home and have a lot of energy there in Ottawa, and we got to find out what's going on with Claude and Lotz, because G went out of his way last night to punch Lotz right in the mouth.
Oh yeah,
in a scrum, he skated over into it.
Hand delivered.
Hand delivered. A little right cross.
Little smack.
I sent G that little clip of when you said I was 0-3-1. I'm like 0-4-1. He goes, Nast, I'm glad you're honest.
Yeah.
He always says that to me. You're 0-4-1. But interesting. It's amazing when you're playing for the Stanley Cup and you're in the playoffs, man. There's no friends out there, and that is the way it should be.
Yeah.
it's the way
I like it. I mean, there's some skirmishes, getting a little bit of physical play. Even Stoley whacking it up there. Was the other day, I guess it was, right?
Ridley, getting on my boy Ritter.
Chopping him up. It looked like an old 80s clip with Hexy or whoever, pick your crazy goaltender, just whacking guys up. But no, I mean, love the intensity. It's going to be, I think it's,
for sure.
Going back to Ottawa, it's going to get fired up. So
we'll see
seeing how that plays out.
Yeah, me too. Panthers Lightning finally played their first game last night. Panthers, I'm not going to lie to you, man. I thought going into this, I'm like, I kind of like the Lightning, just the way they finished the year. Vasilevsky, dude, they beat the brakes off of them last night. I mean, and Tkachuk, comes back. He's 2 goals, but the one he scored in front where I don't think I've ever seen Vasilevsky get thrown back and forth like that and then just tuck it right between the legs. I was like, wow, what a play. And I also don't know how Kachuk's that open in front of the net for that long to make 3 moves and then score. But either way, Nate Smith ended up with 2 goals last night as well. I think the Panthers started off 3 for 3 on a power play, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. And it was funny. I heard one of the announcers, I can't remember who did that game last night. I should remember. I can't remember who did the game, but they were like talking about Ekblad because he comes back after game 2 for game 3. They said, he was out for PED, basically, the is that what it's called? PEDs?
Yeah.
Performance enhancing drug. And it said, he said he feels great. No shit, he feels great. He's
just cycling off. Feels great.
He still feels great. No shit. But anyway, no, I'm kidding. But anyway, that series I'm interested to watch next game, especially in Tampa. They're going to come out with a bird.
That one's definitely going to get heated too.
It definitely will. Capitals Montreal. Capitals up 2-0. I felt like kind of the way I did with Ottawa. I thought Montreal was gonna, steal that second game. Ovi 2 goals.
Steamrolling guys too. Who do you fold in half? Caulfield or
my God,
several guys, but stuck out there. But just a machine.
Crazy. He gets 2 goals. He's got the overtime winner. I think it was his first ever in the playoffs. First OT winner, ended up with 3 points. Strome 3 assists, not a big deal. But that series going to Montreal, that's going to be in Montreal. That play, you've obviously played there in the playoff. It's an atmosphere, man. And I do apologize. It's 1-0 Caps.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
they just started. I didn't mean to jump the gun there, but I thought Montreal was right there, man. They battled, sent it to overtime. I'm like, anything can happen. You steal that game, but we'll see what happens, man. I will say that
comment here, living in exile. Stoley took some notes from my last men's league game. Must been chopping guys up.
Chopping some guys, making some saves. I did want to say quickly about that Lane Hudson, man. Kid's 5'9", 162 pounds, so it means he's probably 5'7", 150 pounds. But he had 2 assists the other night. I mean, he plays 26 minutes. Like,
how
this
mobile
kid,
is that guy?
Oh my God, could you imagine being able to skate like that? Like, you skate well, but like, dude, that's insane.
Nothing like that.
The way he moves. I'm just saying, like,
just the amount of speed and distance he can gain, like laterally with like one stride. It just
when guys float like that, it just blows my mind away. The way they move like that, he's a lot like Quinn Hughes. We were talking about him. I mean, he's just the way they move. It's crazy. They do. Jumping over to the West, your boys, your favorite player, Scotty Arnell, up 2-0. I don't like watching them play, Riggs. I'm sorry. I told you that before. They just bore the shit out of me.
Well, they're a little bit vanilla, but they can score and they got goaltending.
I mean, Scheifele, freaking 5 points in the 2 games. Connor, the guys you expect.
Yeah,
put the numbers up. They do it. And I'm pulling for St. Louis for Monty and Braden. I hate pulling against Luke Shin because he's our guy too. But I think St. Louis, hopefully they get the next one to make it a series because they've played fairly well. It was great the other night when they scored at the end of the period there to tie it. Snuggerud got his first playoff goal, and I'm like, oh boy, we're in one here. But Jets up 2-0, head back to St. Louis. Avs in Dallas. I'm pulling for Dallas. Really? Yeah, I don't know why. I think, I don't know. I am, but after watching game one, I'm like, this might be over quick. Dallas fought back, found a way to tie the series.
No surprise. Actually.
Yeah. McKinnon, you throw his name out there again, 3 goals, an assist.
What a machine.
Just a machine. Makar plays 27 minutes a night. One thing I thought was kind of wild, not that Baller's been picking on me about the plus minus stuff, but Rantanen's -3 so far in this series, and that was a big play. They went and got Dallas went and got him. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I just think the Avs have too much, man. I really do, but we'll see, man. We'll see. Vegas and many tied at 1. I'm not sure if you saw the pass that Kirill the Thrill made last night.
Oh my gosh, I did.
It was like a 4.5-foot high sauce pass. And dude, this thing landed right on his stick, flat as could be. And what a goal too by Bowler. Like, man, I'm just like, dude, that was so dirty. It was just so, as a D-man, Rouse, can you not pick your hand up? Just put your hand out and catch it.
Just catch it. Toss it out there. How do you?
But what a play though. Like, wow. But anyway, that series tied at 1, man. Many took it to him last night. I don't know if Vegas came out
surprise, a little actually
lackadaisical or what.
I still think Vegas wins that 1 in 5, honestly. I mean,
yeah, I agree. I think they just have too much, but man, it was a pretty wild game. Many showed up. They played hard. Edmonton and the Kings last series here. What a game the other night. My God, 6-5. The Kings ended up winning it with 42 seconds left. They're up 4-0, Riggs. Yeah. And they're up 5-3 with 2.5 to go. And your boy Connor McDavid, this guy just started making plays.
Decided to turn it on and say, hey, let's go.
Let's tie this up. So
may as well.
They tie it up and they end up scoring, and Kuzmenko had 3 points.
Yeah, I know, right?
A goal, 2 assists. But McDavid ended up with 4 points, and his helpers were like, you and I could have probably put him in, or I should say, I could have probably put him in. You would have for sure, but crazy game. Can't wait to see the next one with that series. Got to stay up late. I know. I'll let you know how it goes, buddy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, definitely send me the links to the highlights in the morning.
Yeah, I will.
I'm not staying up that late.
No, I know you're not. But it's exciting, man. All these series, it's just so much fun to watch. My favorite time of year, like I said.
Yep. I'm looking forward to see how this all plays out. I'm glued on the Ottawa and Maple Leaf series. It seems like. Well, just for a few different reasons, but I mean, I think between the guys I played with, got coached by, and players I coach, you got Cuzzy, obviously Stoley, Lots, play with G, and then Chiefs out there. And I just like the 2 Canadian teams too, right? I mean, it'll be interesting to watch. But all the playoffs, I'm also rooting for the Jets. I mean, I'm heading back to the Peg tomorrow. I'm not going to catch the game, but. Just to feel the buzz going on in the Peg,
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Cancel my trip.
Are you gonna go stand outside of the arena like everyone?
Yeah, right. Have my lighter and my cell phone.
What's the weather? What's the weather like in the Peg right now?
It's I would say like
a balmy 20.
Yeah, balmy 20. No, we're past that now.
No, I know.
We're almost in the end of April here.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I know.
Things are cooking in the Peg.
Oh man, well, it's exciting, man. Man, can't wait. Keep watching, and I guess I'll talk to you when you get back from the Peg. Unless you can send me some cool pics in the crowd,
in the crowd
outside of the arena. I'm sure you can sneak your way. Wear your Nhl jersey.
Oh yeah.
hit him up, say, hey, big fan.
Yeah, big fan since 1985.
He knows who you are. Oh, he knows who you are, brother. He knows who you are. So, but anyway, all right, man.
Well, appreciate you, Nast.
Yeah, you too, man.
Nasty Knuckles live action.
Yep.
Had to do Wednesday afternoon.
Yep. You're right. You're right. Do want to throw a quick shout out for BKFC, the Ice Wars coming up in June. Yeah, at the Soaring Eagle Casino Resort. Our man Charlie Nama doing an unbelievable job. It's June 14th. It'll be on pay-per-view. We'll be sending some links out on our thing as well. But it's God, this is just cool. It's really cool, man, and it's taken off. It's exploding. All this bare knuckle fighting championships, and David Feldman got involved here with Charlie for the Ice Wars. It's just great. I know we've talked about it before, but just wanted to throw that out there. We'll keep putting some info out for it, and people are gonna really like this.
Yes. Yeah, it took a long time to get off the ground.
Yep.
Getting fights like that sanctioned is not an easy thing to do. Both
the
bare knuckle fighting and then the Ice Wars. That's a whole other animal in itself, I feel.
Exactly.
So,
and it's on ice now. No more synthetic.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's real ice, the guys, and that's why I'm the equipment manager for the Ice Wars. Yeah, can't wait. Get up there in Michigan here soon. June 14th.
All right. Well, we appreciate all you knuckleheads tuning in. And until next week, stay safe, knuckleheads.
See ya.